Reaction. Senator, good morning. So Katie Gallagher even says that the Prime Minister should apologise for that comment. Should he?
The Prime Minister was expressing kindness and empathy for the experience of someone in the room. The faux outrage that assumes that the Prime Minister counting his blessings is somehow a slight on the blessings of another is madness. The Prime Minister was showing genuine care and empathy for the experience of the person who was asking the question, and more than words, he demonstrates that empathy by fully funding the NDIS, something that Labor couldn't even hope to do. They're big on the aspirational ideas and hopeless on the follow-through. Judging by his actions, he's fully funded the resources needed to help people of all walks of life achieve their very best, and that's what we should want for all Australians. Yeah, but I suppose people can say that the wording is clumsy. I certainly don't think you can claim that he purposely meant to be divisive on that. So is it an overreaction, you believe? I think it's an attempt to change the subject because we know Labor have had a pretty rough first week. And it's been because the cupboard has been shown to be bare. Their leader has been shown to be light on substance, though big on emotion. And when in doubt, when you don't have anything to offer yourself, it's important to try and drag others down. I'm not going to enter into that game. Let's focus on what really matters here, and that's making sure our economy is strong enough to allow people from all walks of life to achieve their goals, strong enough to guarantee the essential services that Australians depend on, and strong enough to fund the measures necessary to prepare this country to be secure in a changing world. That's what the Morrison government's doing.
Senator Gallagher also said that she doesn't believe your government when it says that it won't extend the cashless debit card to pensioners. So the scare campaign is going to continue, it would seem, on that front. Your reaction to that?
Isn't it interesting that a Labor frontbencher not believing the track record or the statements of the government is treated as justification for spreading a blatant lie, not just one, but several of them, throughout this country? We've got a blatant lie campaign around Labor telling vulnerable age pensioners that they can expect income management under the cashless debit card. That has never been the government's policy. We've got a similar Medi-Scare campaign suggesting that Medicare needs to be saved when we have never funded it at better levels than we do right now. And we've got a similar scare campaign around industrial relations claiming there'll be changes to the boot test, the Better Off Overall test, which have never been the policy of this government going into the election. Lies, lies, lies. If this is how Labor's campaign starts out, can you imagine how they would finish if they had the chance to govern?
So, but you won't pull back on border security,
better of our
though,
politicians.
will you? You won't pull back on border security, even though your policies are more or less the same as things stand at the moment.
Well, I think you can look at a track record here. The track record says that the last time Labor were in government, they utterly botched the borders issue. We had more than 500 boats arrive that we know of. We had enormous numbers of deaths at sea of some, preyed upon people from criminal people smuggler networks. And as a consequence, vulnerable, particularly women and children, were left in refugee camps unable to be helped by this great country because we were spending $17 billion on managing the arrivals of people who were trapped into the people smugglers' game. We've stopped that. We've put it to an end. It's a record of which we are proud because it allows us to do the right thing by the most vulnerable people in the world. It's one thing for Labor to say, oh, we're the same now. But the fact is, the last time they had the chance to do this, it's not what they did. And we know that what Mr Albanese said the last time he was in a government role as deputy to the then Prime Minister he didn't believe, he had a conviction-based belief that boat turnbacks were wrong. We know that the border policies only work when all three aspects of Operation Sovereign Borders are done in tandem. I don't think that's a scare campaign. I think that's facts.
Okay. Senator, more details in the form of past tweets have emerged this morning relating to Katherine Deves. Among them, she called surrogacy a human rights violation, that women's bodies are not vehicle for vanity projects. This is in relation to Pete Buttigieg over in America doing that in previous years. And transvestism is very common among sexual predators, even serial killers. What are your thoughts on those tweets that have emerged this morning, and do you support her candidacy for Warringah?
Look, I'm not going to run commentary on tweets I haven't seen. What I can say is the fundamental value at the heart of the scrutiny that's on her is the belief that women and girls should have fairness in sport. They should have a fair chance to compete against people of similar biological capacities, and that they should be protected from the injury that comes, that we know is the product of competing against people with enormously different muscle density and bone density. Being compassionate and kind and caring to those who struggle with their gender identity does not necessitate the abandonment of biology or common sense. And parents of girls right around this country need to know that those in leadership are prepared to speak the truth and act for truth while being caring and compassionate for those who have different needs. I'll take a look at her tweets later on.
Sure. Would it be your wish that she was out there campaigning at the moment with all of that said? Because she's gone to ground.
Look, I think it's important that all of our campaigns are out and about, but I'd suggest that part of the pile-on for Ms Deves has been designed to try and stop her
from her own party
from being able to campaign. Well, it's really important that all of our candidates are out and about and talking to the people in their local area, as I do every day, and that's how we make sure that policy is good, that people understand what we're about, and that we squash so many of those really dishonest Labor lies that are being propagated everywhere.
All right, Amanda Stoker, we're out of time. Lengthy chat, but thanks for your time as always. We'll talk to you soon.